Have you struggled with the decision whether you should buy or whether you should rent? Have you heard opposing opinions about which one is better and you're not sure what's really right? Well, stay tuned. We're going to dig into some pros and cons and help you decide if in your situation right now, renting or buying is best. So first, I want to dig into what are the disadvantages of owning a home, because I think it's really important to start with the opposing, at least from the title, view. We're calling this video Why Buying is Better Than Renting, but that's a decision for you to make. Let's start off, like I said, with the opposing view of the disadvantages of owning a home. So if you own a home, you're tied down to one spot for a while. You can't just leave with a quick notice to the landlord. You either have to sell your home or find a renter to replace it or take a financial hit of that mortgage every month. So that's a big disadvantage. Also, there's upfront expenses to buy, plus monthly interest and costs to sell. Plus, you will have to pay to fix anything that breaks in the property. So those could be really big things for people depending on the time in your life that could prevent you from owning a home, because those could be significant disadvantages right now. Now, what are the pros of renting a house? Well, it's definitely more carefree. If something breaks, you call the landlord and have them come out and fix it. You don't have to worry about who to call or how to fix it or how to pay for it. The landlord does that all. It's easier to move when your lease is up or your month to month. You just give 30 days notice and you're out of there. Like I said, you don't really have to pay to fix anything or to upgrade anything, but there are some disadvantages to renting as well. First off, a lot of landlords don't update properties very much. So you might be living in a really older style home and you can't really fix that. And you can't customize the space completely as well, including maybe even window coverings or the way you lay out rooms or anything like that. So that could be a big disadvantage depending on your lifestyle. I've also seen where the landlord all of a sudden decides they want to sell or move in a family member and they're going to tell you have to move. If that is not the right time of your life where it's easy for you to pick up and move, that could be a huge disadvantage. So you really should consider that in your decision as well. How easy is it for you to just be told it's time to move? And the money that you're paying when you're renting never ends. You pay every month, no matter what, to have that roof over your head. And you don't get any tax benefit doing that either. So what about the benefits of buying versus renting? Well, first off, you get to make the decision when you need to move or when you want to move. Each month, your interest is deductible from your taxes. So there is a financial benefit as well. And each month, part of your mortgage payment goes towards your principal of the loan, increasing your net worth every month. So it's almost like an automatic savings account. And you can update and customize a property however you want, and even add some sweat equity by doing some projects on your own and saving some money, but still adding value. Now, other pros of buying a house are you can take control of your environment and your finances. Maybe you want to pay a larger payment every month to pay down that principal faster so that you eventually own your home and eventually have no payment. There's so many different advantages when you own the mortgage or own the house and have a mortgage on how you want to work with that financially. Maybe you get bonuses or RSUs and you want to throw a chunk of that at your mortgage to decrease the payments or to decrease the principal balance so that when you do sell, you have a lot more equity in your pocket. So many different advantages. Are you ready to start your home search? Check out our local focused website at homeownerexperience.com and search listings there. Once you click a listing, it'll ask you to set up an account. And why would you do that? Well, there are some great features on our website that you won't find on other public websites. Number one, we can dialogue and communicate on specific listings, and I can offer my professional advice and expertise about that area or listing for you. Number two is we can customize the search for your needs so that you're not wasting time looking at listings that don't match what you need. So go to homeownerexperience.com and check out the home search. Let's talk a little bit about buying a house versus renting an apartment. Now, they're not really apples to apples, but I bring that up because a lot of people are asking this question. And I think it really depends on your lifestyle. If right now you're flexible, you don't need very much, you don't have much of a family, or your family's not very big, you don't need a lot of rooms, then an apartment might be a really good way to go. Again, if you can be flexible and move quickly, or you don't know where you want to settle, or you're changing jobs and you want to be close and you want to move close to your job, all these are great advantages to renting an apartment. Also, renting an apartment is going to be cheaper than renting a house, so you're going to be saving money. So ultimately, renting an apartment is a great step for people in their young adulthood because they can be saving money ideally and be more flexible and move where they want to go, try different areas. There's so many advantages to that. It's also really good because buying a home is a commitment and you're going to be stuck to that. So it really just depends on, like I said, is your family growing? Do you need more space? Do you want great schools? What your neighborhood needs are. So as you can see, renting versus buying really just depends on your lifestyle and your needs. Now, let's talk a little bit about the finances portion. Renting versus buying, I've got a little calculator tool. I'm going to put some things up on the screen for you to get an overview. So basically, I had a client come to me and said, hey, we can only stay in this area for 5 years, but we're considering renting. We have enough for a down payment. We're thinking about a $1.1 million house we can qualify for, and we have the down payment for that. Or we can rent a house because we're in an apartment right now and it's too tight. So we either need to rent a house for $3,500 a month or buy a house. If we buy a house and live there for 5 years, is it going to make sense for us financially? So we kind of, with one of my lenders, went through a lot of these financials and decided and ran the numbers for her. So we made a couple assumptions in doing these numbers. First off, we're assuming closing costs are $15,000 for your initial loan to start that up. And that's also a little bit of city transfer tax and other things if you're buying in San Jose. We also assumed a historical appreciation or a forecasted appreciation of 6.3%. Now, over the years in the Bay Area, we're typically in the 7 to 8% range. As you've seen probably in the last several years, it was a much greater in the 20% range. So it usually averages out to about 7%, but we calculated 6.31% to be a little bit conservative there. Buying in year one, you will have your monthly payment be $51.35 and your rent only $3,500. So obviously that first year, it's a lot more expensive, but remember a chunk of that payment is going into your own pocket in the equity of your home. So that's one huge advantage. In these calculations, we're not looking at the tax advantage. There is additional tax advantage, but everyone's in a different bracket. So we didn't want to complicate the math for that. But if we look at that, then we look at an additional property tax and maintenance and repairs and taking all of these items into account, including renter's insurance in here, and running these numbers over time, you'll see that the first year, you're definitely not going to be making money by buying. You're going to be down because of the expenses are going to be higher. Year two, it's very close. You're almost coming even in about $8,800 in the hole. Year three, you're seeing some profit of $46,000. Year four, now we're talking $107,000 of profit. Now, this is money going into your mortgage because of your mortgage payment. A chunk of that is principal payment going towards the mortgage payment, and also appreciation in this area. So if you're taking all those into account, by year five, you're up $163,000. And this does take into account a 6% cost to sell the house at the end, and you're still up on those numbers. In this situation, we're running 5 years, but I've done a calculation in a previous video where we talked about why buying for 7 years is really a smart idea. I'm going to link that information piece down below because it's mathematical. In the worst time of this market, if you bought at the peak in 2007, 2008, and waited 7 years, you would still have profits. If you want to see those numbers, check out the link below. If you'd like to know a little bit more about these numbers, definitely let's talk your personal situation. I love working with my viewers. I'd be happy to have an initial conversation or book a buyer consultation. In the buyer consultation, we're going to talk about the tools and the things that I do to help you prepare so that you avoid the common mistakes that buyers make and don't do that. I also could connect you with a lender who's trusted, who could run these kind of numbers for your exact scenarios so you can understand what's the right decision for you. So I hope you found this information really valuable. Please like and subscribe this video and comment below with any questions. Thanks for watching. Before you go, you might want to check out the link below to sign up for our newsletter. If you'd like insider tips, events that we're holding locally, and don't want to miss one of these very valuable videos, you definitely should sign up for the newsletter. If you don't like it, no harm, just unsubscribe.